Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Good evening, everyone. Your top true crime news story of the day is that the CEO of UnitedHealthcare was brazenly targeted this morning, shot and killed in New York City. This is a crazy story, y'all. UnitedHealthcare has had a lot of issues under investigation for denying claims. But this morning in Midtown Manhattan, a tragic event unfolded. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was gunned down in front of a hotel. And there's ongoing controversy surrounding the UnitedHealthcare's claims denial practice, like you said. If you didn't know, UnitedHealthcare is a subsidiary of UnitedHealth Group. It's the largest private health insurer in the U.S., and it provides health coverage to over 49 million Americans. Recently, the company has faced scrutiny for its use of artificial intelligence in denying claims. Brian Thompson, the CEO, I'm just trying to find my picture here. So Brian Thompson is the CEO, was the CEO. He's a dedicated leader, has been with UnitedHealth Group for 20 years, and served as CEO of UnitedHealthcare since April of 2021. He strived to improve healthcare access, even though the company has been accused of using a faulty AI algorithm to deny elderly patients medically necessary coverage. Thompson was not just a CEO, he was a loving husband and father living in Maple Grove, Minnesota, with his wife Paulette and their 2 children. Colleagues have remembered him as humble and kind-hearted. So he was in New York City this morning for UnitedHealthcare's annual investor conference. And he was walking down the sidewalk to the hotel where the conference was to be held when a man came onto the sidewalk, pointed a pew-pew at him, and shot him in the back. The gun jammed. The assailant fixed the jammed gun and shot him again in the leg before running off. I have some videos here that I'm going to show you. And the first one is a little bit of information, more information on who Brian Thompson was. So let's take a look at that. All right.
Ian?
Julie Thompson climbed the ranks of UnitedHealthcare, moving all the way up to CEO in 2021. Friends say he always called himself a farm boy from Iowa. He graduated from the University of Iowa in the late 90s. Friends also say he was one of the funniest and smartest people they knew, and he was generous. He has 2 kids, as Lou mentioned, one who is still in high school and one who graduated back in May. Thompson is now being remembered by friends, family, and colleagues alike tonight. The flags outside UnitedHealthcare in Minnetonka are at half-staff today as the healthcare insurance giant mourns the death of one of their own. Brian Thompson, the 50-year-old CEO of UnitedHealthcare, shot and killed this morning in New York City. Reaction on social media has been swift and emotional. His wife, Paulette Thompson, telling us this morning that Brian Thompson was a caring man.
Brian was a wonderful person with a big heart and who lived life to the fullest. He will be greatly missed by everybody. Our hearts are broken and we are completely devastated by this news. He touched so many lives.
Also reacting today, Governor Tim Walz.
I knew Brian. Tragic. And as I said, well, some of it's still preliminary on this, but figure out what was behind this and follow through, making sure someone's brought to justice. But just our deepest condolences to the family. Horrible tragedy.
Other lawmakers and political figures have shared their grief on X. Senator Amy Klobuchar saying, quote, "This is a horrifying and shocking act of violence." Senator Tina Smith simply calling it a horrifying tragedy. General Mills CEO Jeff Harmening saying Thompson was a beloved father, husband, and good friend to many here, and he will be truly missed. And in Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey calling this a shocking and devastating loss. Shocking is the only word I can find at the moment. Now, many groups, people, and organizations have released statements today, including the Special Olympics USA Games.
All right. So that is a little little video I found describing him. So what actually happened today? Well, right now there's a massive search in New York going on after this individual came out this morning and shot this man. So I have a video here of what happened on the sidewalk. So I am giving you a warning now. This is it's a short video, but it surely shows us what happened this morning. Let me bring that up for you. My cat is behind me snoring. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to rewind this just a little bit and add it.
Video obtained by NBC News shows the UnitedHealthcare CEO walking alone when a gunman approached him from behind. The shooter.
So I'm going to rewind that so you can get a good view of what happens here.
Video obtained by NBC News shows the UnitedHealthcare CEO walking alone.
So they said he was dressed in his dress clothes and he was walking to the hotel, as you can see. And then if you watch behind the car here, a man entered.
When a gunman approached him from behind.
Now, do you see that gun? And it looks like there is a silencer on this gun.
From behind.
The shooter steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car. He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind, and shoots him in the back. The shooter then walks toward the victim and continues to shoot.
The NYPD commissioner calls it a brazen, targeted attack.
This does not appear to be a random act of violence.
The healthcare executive, Brian Thompson, was headed to an investor conference at the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan around 6:40 in the morning when he was shot. Police say the attacker, dressed in all black, was wearing a distinctive gray backpack.
Now, police are asking you to take a good look at this backpack. It's a little grainy, but I think you can make out enough of it. If anybody knows anybody with a backpack like that, they're asking you to call in.
During the shooting, he ran across the street and then jumped on an e-bike, last seen entering Central Park a few blocks away.
I hear the shot, and when I look at the guy was a gun, like the silent gun, like a black gun, and I saw him after he shot him. He ran across the street this way.
So now, if you remember, I said it looked like there was a silencer on that gun, and that is exactly what that gentleman was referring to in this interview that we just saw.
He's found 3 bullet casings and a cell phone at the scene. In a brief interview, Thompson's wife told NBC News.
Okay, so we've got information that a cell phone was found. I'm trying something new, Andrea. That's why I have a circle on. So let's see. He's been with United Health Group for over 20 years. He was there for an annual investor conference. And as we saw, he was walking toward the Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue when that masked gunman was lying in wait. Now, I have heard since then that people are reporting that this gentleman had stayed there all night long, waiting for Mr. Thompson to appear. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what I heard. So this happened at 6:46 a.m. Eastern Time. We know that the gunman approached him from behind, firing several rounds, striking him in the back and the right calf. As they said in that video, he fled on foot at first and then got on an e-bike and disappeared into Central Park. I don't know how busy Central Park is at 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, but I would assume it's pretty busy with people walking through, and so somebody had to have seen this guy. They are saying this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack on Mr. Thompson. They're conducting a full investigation and waiting to identify this individual and apprehend the shooter. Thompson was rushed to Mount Sinai West Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. And this news has sent shockwaves throughout the business and healthcare communities today. United Health Group has expressed its deep sadness and shock at Thompson's passing. The company canceled its investor conference and lowered flags to half staff at its headquarters in Minnetonka, Minnesota. Tributes poured out from colleagues and public officials, including Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Senator Amy Klobuchar, and Congressman Dean Phillips. And in other reports, I have seen that Thompson's wife said that he was getting threats the past few days. So what exactly is this regarding? We don't know. Could this be an individual that is familiar with firearms and had one of their claims denied? Could be. Is it somebody that was hired by one of these individuals? Somebody that is an investor that is going to be losing money because of all of these issues with these denied claims? We really don't know right now. NYPD is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the suspect. If you have any information, contact NYPD Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS, which is 8477. So now UnitedHealthcare is mourning the loss of their CEO, but they're still embroiled in these legal challenges over its claim denial practices. The company's been accused of using, like I said, a faulty AI program or algorithm to deny coverages, overriding doctors' judgments, and causing significant hardships on elderly patients. So police are searching for this individual. I do have some more photos and images. So here's one of the suspect. As you can see, he is wearing that black jacket, that gray backpack with the tan leather strap on it. He did have a face mask on, so all you can see is from the nose up, and you cannot see his eyes clearly or anything like that. This is an image of him riding the e-bike down the road. They are trying to track that e-bike information. So they're working with the company as we speak to try to get information as to what e-bike it was and what data location they can get from it. And this was New York City, the street being taped off this morning. As you can see, they've got the placards here where they found the bullets. There were 3 bullets that were found. This is just a still image of the video that we watched. This is another. Now you can't see anything. You can't see his face or anything. But one of the things that I did notice is that on the hoodie, there are some jagged edges here. It does not look clean cut. It's almost like it's been cut with the scissors and it wasn't done cleanly. So that could be something that somebody looks for. Let's see here, that picture I showed you. That one we've seen. And this is just police standing outside there. So if anybody knows this person or could tell who he is, or can identify him by the clothing or the backpack, police would like you to call in. Let's see who else here tonight with us. Let me take that off the screen. There we go. So we have Jill Mosier. Good evening. How are you? CJK's here. Andrea's here. Gloria, welcome. And Miranda. go look at the New York Post. They have an article on there. All right, let me see what I can find here. All right, and I'm going to stop my screen and present this so that everybody can see it. Okay, so new photos show UnitedHealthcare killer in Starbucks before shooting. That's interesting. We'll take a look at that. Now, I did see just a second ago that they do have a video of him riding outside of Central Park also. So they're looking at every camera in every view to be able to see where this man went. So NYPD released a new photo of the hooded suspect standing in front of the counter at the Starbucks at West 56th Street and 6th Avenue, just minutes away from the Hilton Hotel, where he gunned down Thomas, who was 50 years old. They don't know how long he had been at the Starbucks or if he was purchasing anything. Officials said that after firing at Thompson multiple times with bullets striking his back and right calf, the gunman quickly fled the scene on foot. He was then spotted mounting an East City bike. So they have a little graph here. At 6:44 a.m., the victim is walking alone towards the New York Hilton Midtown after leaving his hotel across the street. The shooter, who was lying in wait alongside the building, fires at him. Shooter then runs to an alleyway between 54th Street and 55th Street. So this is where the shooting happened. He takes this path in this alley. Once at West 55th Street, so he comes here. The shooter continues to walk down 6th Street until where he gets onto an electric bike. He rides north on 6th Street towards Central Park. And he rode the bike into Central Park at 6:48. So that, this is a short time frame we have here. We've got some other pictures of them taking the evidence along with the placards. Like I said, there is a $10,000 reward for the suspect. They do not think this was a random act of violence. They state that this man stalked out the hotel where Thompson was due to speak, where he was then shot. So Thompson's wife, Polly Thompson, 51, said that before the shooting, the father of two had received threats related to his job leading America's greatest private insurer. Every indication shows this is a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack. No arrests have been made so far. Okay, Andrea, which one are you talking about here? Here we go. Wife of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson says her husband had been receiving some threats prior to this morning. The wife of Slane Health Insurance CEO Brian Thompson said Wednesday that her husband has been getting threats before he was gunned down. There had been some threats. Basically, I don't know a lack of coverage, she said, referring to her 50-year-old husband's role as CEO of UnitedHealthcare Insurance Division. I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. I can't really give a thoughtful response right now. I just found this out, and I'm trying to console my children, she said, confirming that police had told her it is believed to have been a targeted attack. So I'm not seeing anything with specifics, but they are aware that now that he was getting some threats. Now, we do know that UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was facing a DOJ probe for insider trading when he was killed and targeted in New York. According to this article, says that he was one of several senior executives at the company under investigation by the Department of Justice. So he exercised stock options and sold shares worth $15.1 million on February 16th, less than 2 weeks before news of the federal antitrust probe went public. The stock price dropped sharply after the revelation that the DOJ was investigating whether the company had made acquisitions that consolidated its market position in violation of antitrust laws. So that is some big, big investigations going on. Says Thompson stock options reportedly had several years until expiration, and the sale of shares was his first since assuming the helm of parent company United Health Insurance Division of 2021. Thompson, along with United Health Group Chairman Stephen Hemsley, Chief People Officer Aaron McSweeney, and Chief Accounting Officer Tom Ross sold a combined $101.5 million in shares, with Hemsley personally netting just shy of $85 million. Holy crap. Charles Elson, founding director of Weinberg Center for Corporate Governance at the University of Delaware, told Cranes that share sales by firm principals are typically scrutinized by company's general counsel, who can determine whether any additional disclosure to the market may be required before the trades are excluded. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't understand the comment about lack of coverage from the wife. Lack of coverage about the threats? No, Johnny, they have not caught the shooter yet. They are still looking for him. In fact, I'm going to see what the latest is. So it looks like 26 minutes ago, CNN, and I'll stop my screen here and share this with you guys so you can see it. Because it looks like this is a live update from CNN. And I will copy and paste this in the chat so everybody has it. Okay. So police hunt for gunman after UnitedHealthcare CEO killed in New York. So it says 26 minutes ago, police have video of the suspect in uptown Manhattan prior to the shooting. And that's probably what we just looked at, was him at Starbucks. They found a water bottle and a phone in a nearby alley after the shooting. So what we're hearing is that they do have a phone, they do have a water bottle so that they can do DNA testing off of that water bottle. That can be done. And they're definitely trying to get into the phone to get details to see if it's related to this case. But they do know that he did drop vital clues because this was found in the alley that he went down. Okay, so this is saying that detectives believe a phone found in the alley the gunman ran through may have belonged to the shooter. Police also found a bottle of water that detectives believe the gunman purchased just minutes before the shooting at a Starbucks around the corner. One senior official said video from the Starbucks shows the man barely visible under a black hood and wearing a surgical mask, buying 2 power bars and a bottle of water. The phone could yield fingerprints or DNA, and if the police technicians can unlock the phone, it may offer the suspect's identity. Even if it's a burner phone, it could give investigators more information about communications and searches before the shooting. As I said, the water bottle may also offer DNA, according to investigators. So, 2 pieces of evidence police are still searching for are the gun and the bicycle the gunman used to flee. So now I have heard this. Detectives did believe the shooter was an experienced marksman. The reason they're saying this is because it was so deliberate, and he was experienced because the gun jammed and he cleared it very quickly. Oh, it says even as his gun jammed 3 times, the shooter calmly and quickly cleared the jams and continued firing as he walked closer to his target. Firearm experts who have studied the video said it appears that the gun malfunctioned with each shot. Jamming refers to the gun not loading another bullet into the chamber after it's fired. The gunman is seen racking the slide back to clear the jam and load another round. He reacts in the way that someone with firearms training from law enforcement or the military would be trained to react in such an issue. The gun appears to be fitted with a silencer, which can cause weapons to malfunction and jam unless they are installed with specific modifications. That's what I'm thinking. Lack of coverage about the company and what they've been doing. That was my thought. Probably a patient that was denied coverage, or a family member of a patient. Maybe he was possibly giving information about the insider trading and somebody wanted him taken care of. Exactly. The bike he took was in the alley as well. I haven't heard that yet. He may be experienced with guns, but not as a hitman if he made those types of oversights. Yeah, definitely. Because it sounds like he shot several times and only hit him once in the back and once in the calf. So we know his aim was not the best. Who would make a purchase in a Starbucks on camera knowing what they were about to do? Well, when you look like this, it's this was a brazen targeted attack in the morning. So we know that his face was covered. He probably thinks that nobody could see him. And nobody could identify him based off of the pictures that we're seeing now. You read that he fired 3 rounds. That's what I heard initially also, because they said that they had picked up 3 bullets. But in here it said several, so. Okay, so then in here, it also says this was an hour and 53 minutes ago. The e-bike used by the suspect who shot and killed UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was not a city bike, a law enforcement official tells CNN. As CNN previously reported, the suspect fled first on foot, then on an e-bike, and was last seen in Central Park early this morning. Earlier Wednesday, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny said the suspect fled on a city bike that had a GPS system. We're still tracking video. The last we see with him on the bike is in Central Park. So once again, this is the site of the shooting. We know he went down an alley here, and this is where he got on the bike and rode into Central Park. So here's a timeline that they give. At 6:17 a.m., the suspect was at a Starbucks on 6th Avenue near the hotel. A photo showed him wearing a hooded jacket with his face mostly covered, and he was carrying a backpack. Before the shooting, he was lying in wait for several minutes. Surveillance video shows the shooter come out from behind a car when Thompson arrives. At 6:44 a.m., Thompson walked toward the New York Hilton Hotel after leaving his hotel across the street, and the gunman came up behind him and shot him in the back. The shooter then walks towards the victim and continues to shoot. It appears the gun malfunctions as he clears the jam and begins to fire again. 6:46, officers respond to a 911 call. of a person shot. 6:48, officers arrived and found Thompson on the sidewalk, and he was taken to the hospital by EMS. Immediately after the shooting, the suspected gunman fled northbound into an alleyway between 54th Street and 55th Street, walked west on Avenue of the Americas, and eventually got into an electric bike and rode towards Central Park. At 6:48, the same time officers arrived at the hotel, police have the suspect riding the bike into Central Park. So it says the motive remains unclear, but Paulette Thompson told NBC News there had been some threats against her husband. Separately, a source with knowledge of the investigation told CNN that there were concerning threats against United Health Group. Thompson's name was not specifically mentioned, but the threats did talk about going after high-level executives. So the backpack is very weird. Let me get that picture again. Like I said, it's gray, but it looks like tan handles on the top and the side. Where's that other picture at? It looks kind of boxy to me. Yeah. It does not look like a regular backpack that I've seen before, that's for sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure they are going to be CJK. Andrea says, I can speak from experience and have only had their coverage for a month. The things they do and don't cover is jacked. Now, we've had UnitedHealthcare for years, but we haven't had to have any big surgeries or anything like that. So we haven't had an issue with them. But from what I'm learning is that a lot of people have. And I'm just looking here. So I've got an article here that I'm going to look at. It says Minnesota seniors feel like pawns in health partners United Healthcare dispute. So from what I'm looking at, it seems like seniors were targeted more on this than anybody. Stephanie, so did mine. I just found that out. They paid for one of Bob's pain meds that was the immediate release, but won't pay for the same pain med in the extended release. That doesn't make sense. So the dispute raises different issues for seniors depending on whether they buy coverage on their own or have benefits through a group plan sponsored by a former employer. Seniors enrolled in UnitedHealthcare Medicare Advantage health plans won't have in-network access to the health systems, hospitals, and clinics starting January 1st. This means some 30,000 patients next year might not be able to keep seeing their doctors unless they jump to a new health plan. Oh my. That's not a good thing. May 14th of 2024, it says UnitedHealthcare faces state penalty for uneven mental health care coverage. So it looks like there are various issues with this company and denying claims for all kinds of things. So it looks like they were facing penalties for allegedly violating mental health parity laws. After an investigation, the Minnesota Department of Commerce said the company covers claims for mental health and substance abuse care more stringently than it covers claims for other services. The department announced a settlement in the form of a consent order with the insurance company on Tuesday. Several issues with their mental health care coverage includes uneven reimbursement rates between mental health and other care, and a failure to inform some patients of their appeal rights when coverage was denied. Yikes. A lot of hospitals seem to be pulling out and won't renew their contracts with UnitedHealthcare due to this. I know someone who was just placed in a nursing home and who was supposed to stay there for more therapy. They won't let her stay. She had to go back to her home. That is crazy. My hubs was UnitedHealthcare for Medicare, and he really liked his plan. The rejection rates are twice what the industry standard is. It's over 30%. Yes, I did read that earlier. I switched from UnitedHealthcare to Devoted, and Devoted is way better. Andrew says, my hubby is retiree insurance from Chrysler. Yeah. And like us, we don't have an option. That's who my husband's insurance carrier is. So I'm sure more information is going to come out about this. I'll keep you notified. Put in the community page any updates. I'll also put it in the Facebook group and on the Facebook page. So if anybody has any information on this, please contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-8477. We'll see what Brian Thompson's legacy will be. Will it live on through his contributions to healthcare and the countless lives he touched? Or as the investigations come out more about this company and him being the CEO, will his legacy be impacted? In other true crime news, did you hear Sarah Boone's plea to the judge? Yes, and I am going to talk about that also. I am so sorry, everyone. I got my flu shot on Monday, and I have pretty much slept yesterday and today. Wasn't feeling good. So we are going to talk about Sarah Boone. Definitely. Yes, I think this is going to be a lot bigger than insider trading. And the days to come are going to tell us more. He was one of the company's highest paid executives. $10.2 million a year. Yeah. That's why I don't take the flu shot. I know everybody tells me that, but being diabetic, it's better for me to take the flu shot. And I got a pneumonia shot this year. So I had 2 of them. So that might have been what knocked me down a little bit the past couple days too. So I'd rather that than get full-blown pneumonia or the flu. But now that I'm feeling better, I've got things coming up. I've got a lot of stories to cover. So I'm going to try to do some pre-recorded videos and live streams. I know that you guys like the live streams. So I'll try to do a balancing act of some pre-recorded and some live. Because I just got so many different things to report on. So in order to get that news out to you and to everybody, I'll do a combination of both. I still plan on having a members only live, probably this weekend. I have to work out a couple bugs on my members only lives. For some reason, I'm still not able to see those comments, and I have to be able to see that. So check in with me tomorrow. We'll be talking about this story and other stories throughout the day. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.